Namaste and a very good morning to all of you. I welcome you to my channel, The Outlier. My name is Mithun. In today's video, I'll be talking about how to import, code, and analyze LIKERT scale from Google Form into SPSS. Even before I proceed to demonstrate how do we import, code, and analyze LIKERT scale from Google Form into SPSS, may I request you to subscribe to my channel, also like and share my videos. Let me begin by showing you an example of the Google Form that I had used some time back. As you can see here, this is the title. It says exploring the role of lifestyle and environmental factors in breast cancer development during deep learning. So this is the research project that I was working on some time back. I'll show you the questions for this project by scrolling down. You can see here, these are some of the questions: name, village, district. And as I scroll down, you can see there are a lot of demographic variables. You also have a lot of LIKERT scale data. In the last, we have given the option for submit. The idea is the respondent looks at each of these questions, fills the appropriate response, and clicks on the option submit. We have already done this, and we have got responses for this questionnaire. This response, I would like to import in SPSS. The question is, how do we import this response in SPSS? So for all those research scholars who are at the beginning of your research and are slightly confused or not sure how do we proceed from Google Form to Google Sheet and then to import in SPSS, this is a step-by-step guide which will tell you how you can import the responses of this Google Form survey using SPSS. The first thing that I'll be doing here is to click on the option which is called as Request Edit Access. I repeat, I will be clicking on this option called as Request Edit Access. As you can see here, the moment I click on Request Edit Access, there is a new page which opens up, and at the top there are three options: questions, responses, and settings. You can see here 131, which means that there are 131 rows. To access the participants' response for this survey, you have to click on the option responses. What Google Form now does is it displays the participants' response. You can see here we have a nice little pie chart for one of the variables, which will tell me what is the distribution of participants who come from urban sector and rural sector. Now, as you scroll down, you can see here there is a bar chart. Similarly, there are many different pie charts for each of the variables. I'm not interested in the high-level analysis. My goal here is to access the responses. How do I do this? There is an option here in green color which says View in Sheets. Now you need to click on this option, View in Sheets. Now you can see a new page open up. This is the Google Sheet, and in this Google Form, in fact, in this Google spreadsheet, you can see all the columns that we had asked. These are all the questions. The first row consists of the questions in the Google Form. And from the second row onwards, you have people's responses to each of the questions. For example, if you look at the first response, the first respondent has filled up the form on 3rd May 2024. It's also displaying the time. She is from RR Nagar, urban area. Her age is 24 years. Graduate. Her height is 176 centimeters. Now, there are many columns as I scroll to the right side. You can see here approximately 50 to 60 different columns are there. It's a bit difficult to explain all the columns, so I will not be going through each and every column. Now, there are a couple of problems which I'd like to highlight here. When you look at column D, it says district you belong to. As you can see, there's a space between the words district and you. You will encounter many problems when you import this column into SPSS. Why? Simply because space between the words is not allowed. The second important point here is that SPSS, it's a lot easier to give short and crisp words rather than lengthy sentences. Let me show you some of the questions here. You can look at example AO. How often do you engage in nature walks? Walking in natural outdoor environments such as parks, forests, or trails. Now, this is a lengthy question. My suggestion to you is when you have such lengthy questions, it is better to rename the variable into short words so that SPSS is able to recognize and easily import these variables. Else, you will have a lot of problems while importing this file. A better way of renaming this variable would be nature underscore walks. Remember, space is not allowed in SPSS. What I've done is I have cut short the lengthy sentences and I have retained only short words. Now the important question, how do we download this Google Sheet? What you can do is you can go ahead and click on the File menu bar. In the File menu bar, you have several options. Let me draw your attention to the option Download. Here, you have 6 different options. The first is you can download this file as a Microsoft Excel file. You can have a look at the extension .xlsx. Second is open document. Third is PDF format. Fourth would be web page. Then you have CSV or comma separated values. The last of the options is tab separated values. Out of these 6 options, I would suggest that you download the Google spreadsheet as a Microsoft Excel file. I repeat, it's always better to download the Google spreadsheet as Microsoft Excel. It's a lot easier and convenient for you to import Microsoft Excel file as compared to some of the other formats displayed here. As I've already downloaded this Google spreadsheet as Microsoft Excel, I will not again download this particular file. Let me show you the downloaded file. As you can see here, I have renamed almost all of the variables like question 1, question 2, question 3, question 4. I have removed a lot of demographic variables because it is outside the scope of this video to study demographic variables. I have retained only the essential Likert scale items which are important for us to analyze in this video. You can see here we have ID, gender, and we have Q1, Q2, Q3, which are nothing but the questions that we have asked. There are 21 such questions. And you can see when I use Excel dropdown, there are 5 categories: agree, disagree, neutral, strongly agree, and strongly disagree. Now, many times what happens is research scholars will have to code this string data into numeric. That is, you might want to code strongly agree as 1, agree as 2, neutral as 3, so on and so forth. But because we have 21 such variables, this procedure of coding each of these 5 values will be a tedious process. For each and every variable, you have to recode the values into numeric. In this video, I will show you a simple trick in SPSS which allows you to recode all of these 21 Likert scale variables in SPSS. This is very easy and simple, and it will save a lot of your time. Let me remove the filter, close this. This is the SPSS blank screen. But first of all, I have to close the Excel file. I would like to import the Excel file that you were seeing just now into SPSS. How do we do this? You can go to the File menu bar. SPSS displays all the things that are available in the File menu bar. The third option from the top is Open Database. Here, SPSS displays what is called as New Query. Please go ahead and click on the option New Query. What happens now is that there is a new window which is called as Database Wizard window, which opens up. Make sure that you have selected the Excel option here. The next step for us to do is click on the next button here, which is present below. Let me go ahead and hit the next button. This will open up a dialog box, and you can see here database. Here you can specify the location of your file. Your source file may be in desktop or documents or C drive or in any other folder. You can go ahead and specify the location of the file. How do you do this? You can click on the browse button. You can see here there's a new window which is called as the open window. Look in. Here you have a drop down menu. Let me click on the drop down menu, scroll up, and I will be choosing the option downloads because I have downloaded the Google spreadsheet into Microsoft Excel file and saved it in the downloads folder. There are different options here. Let me show you the file called as results v1. This is the file which I'd like to import. Let me click on the option open. Now, okay. You have a new window here. On the left hand side, you can see available tables. All the Likert scale items are there. Let me unclick on the plus sign. You can see SPSS displays all the 21 columns that are present in the file results v1. What I need to do now is drag this and drop it into retrieve fields in this order. Let me repeat this. You have to drag it and drop it into the box to the right hand side. Now, let me go ahead and click on the option next. You can ignore this particular option. Click on next once again. Now, this is a very, very important step. May I draw your attention to this particular step? You can see here, this option helps you define variables. SPSS says edit variable names and properties. If you want, you can give some other name to Q1 or Q2 or Q3. I will not be doing this. Names will be automatically generated if left blank. Have a look at the third option. It says to convert a string variable to numeric using the original values as value labels, check Recode to numeric. This is a very, very useful function. I repeat, this is a very, very powerful and a useful function which would save a lot of time, because here I don't have to manually convert every string variable into numeric. All that I need to do is click on these check boxes to recode a Likert scale item into numeric. You can see here the first variable anyway is ID. It is numeric, you can ignore. This is data type, recode to numeric. You don't need to recode a variable which is already numeric. Have a look at the second variable, gender. It is now of string data type. Recode to numeric. You can click on this particular option. Now we have got 21 Likert scale items. I'm going to go ahead and recode each of these Likert scale items into a numeric variable. This is a time-saving feature. Instead of importing the entire file into SPSS and then recoding each and every variable manually, it is better that we follow this procedure. You can see here, all of these 21 columns have been recoded into numeric. We can go ahead and click on the option next and hit the finish button. You can see here, SPSS displays the entire data set. I had ID. The next variable is gender. Then you have Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, Q5. All these are questions, and SPSS has converted this into numeric data. Let me scroll to the extreme right side and make sure that all the 21 Likert scale items have been imported. This is fantastic. All of these 21 columns have been imported into SPSS. Now, you can see here, there are values like 3, 1, 2, so on and so forth. Now, you may not be very sure what is the value label for 3. Now, there are two ways in which you can ensure that SPSS displays the value label. How do we do this? You can click on the option value label. Please have a look at this icon. This is called as value labels. I'm going to go ahead and select on value labels. You can see here, SPSS displays the corresponding value label. SPSS says this is neutral, correct? Let's go ahead and look at this particular value label. It is strongly disagree. What is the number that SPSS has given? 5. So SPSS has done a fantastic job of recoding each and every Likert scale item into the respective numeric form. So this is the beauty of using SPSS, that it reduces a lot of time for the research scholars. What is the second way in which we can go ahead and check what is the value label for each of these Likert scale items? In the left-hand side bottom corner, you have an option which is called as variable view. Let me click on the option variable view. SPSS displays the metadata or the properties of each and every variable. We can see here Q1 is numeric, not string. Let me now scroll to the right side. This is the values column. Here, when I click on the option value labels, you can see the value labels. 1 stands for agree, 2 for disagree, 3 for neutral, 4 for strongly agree, and 5 stands for strongly disagree. This is repeated for all the 21 items. Let me go back to data view now. In case you wish to analyze any of these Likert scale variables, how do you now analyze? I'm going to go to analyze menu bar, come to the second option, descriptive statistics. Now we have an option called as frequencies. In SPSS, analyze descriptive statistics and frequencies is what you need to choose. Let me do this once again. Analyze descriptive statistics and frequencies option. You can see here, this is the first question, Q1. I'm going to move this into the variable section. You have a lot of options, statistics, charts, so on and so forth. You can click on the option statistics. In case you want to display mean, median, mode, sum, make sure that you check each of these options. Down below, you have the measures of dispersion like standard deviation, minimum, maximum, variance, range. You also have standard error for mean, which I will be ignoring. If you want to check the distribution, you can go ahead and select skewness and kurtosis. For this video, I'm going to remove this option, skewness and kurtosis. Let me also get rid of variance, minimum and maximum. I'm happy with mean, median, mode. Let me remove sum. Standard deviation and range would be fine. Let me click on continue. You have the option charts. Let me go ahead and show you the option charts. Here, under the chart type section, the first option is none. Second option that you have is bar chart. The third option is pie chart. The fourth option is histogram. What you can do now is to click on the option pie chart. Here under the chart values section, you have two options. One is frequencies and percentages. I've selected percentages and pie chart. Let me now click on continue and hit the OK button. You can see here, this is what is called as the output window in SPSS. This is the output of frequencies. The first table gives you the valid cases. The number of missing cases would be 0 here. The mean, median, mode is displayed. Standard deviation and range is also displayed. Let me scroll down now. You can see here, SPSS gives you the distribution of the first question: agree, disagree, neutral, strongly agree, disagree. The frequency column is given. This shows you the number of respondents who have agreed with the first question. The second value 80 shows the number of respondents who have disagreed. The corresponding percentages is also given. Let me scroll down. You can see this is the pie chart, which gives you the distribution of the responses for each of the categories. Have a look at the legend. The blue color stands for agree. The green one stands for disagree. If you take a look at the yellow colored slice, that represents strongly disagree. You may be wondering, why hasn't the percentage been displayed? Now, this is a trick. You need to double click on the pie chart. You can see here, there is what is called as chart editor window. There is an option here, which is called as data label mode. Please click on this and you can click on each of the slices. Now, SPSS displays the percentage for each of the categories. Once you have done this, you can close this. This is your pie chart and the frequency distribution table. In case you want to analyze all the 21 Likert scale items, how do you do this? You can see here, this is the dialog recall button. You have to click on frequencies. This is the frequencies option. Earlier I had Q1. I'm going to select the rest of the variables, move this into variables. Now I'm going to hit the OK button. In just a matter of few seconds, SPSS displays the pie chart for all the 21 variables. You can see here, these are all the pie charts for each of the questions. SPSS has displayed the pie chart. If you want to take a look at the frequency distribution, You can see here, this is the frequency distribution for all the items. Let's now select statistics. This is a very useful column. You can have a look at each of the questions, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, and all the necessary statistics, that is measures of central tendency as well as measures of dispersion, which you can go ahead, copy and paste in your Word document for publishing research paper. So here's a quick recap or summary of what we've been able to do. We have learned how to import, code, and analyze Likert scale from Google Form into SPSS. We began our journey by looking at the Google Form. This is the Google Form sheet, which I showed you. There are around 50 to 60 questions here. Some of them you can see, these are all lengthy questions, which you need to shorten or make it very crisp in SPSS. So this is the Google Form, which you can administer. And once you have the Google Form, you'll be getting the response. You can use the option View in Sheets. Please remember this View in Sheets button. Once you click on this, you'll get the responses in Google Sheet. This is the Google Sheet form. There are many variables which I've cleaned. I have removed unwanted variables. Now to download the Google Sheets, go to File, and you can simply click on the option Download and select the option Microsoft Excel. Once you do this, you'll get a nice little Excel file like this, wherein you can remove all the unwanted variables and retain only the required variables. Then the next step is to go to SPSS and import the file from your Excel. Remember, it is very difficult to directly import a Google spreadsheet into SPSS. That's the reason from Google spreadsheet, you have to dump the file into Excel, and from Excel, you can take the file, you can import into SPSS. You can go ahead and recode the variable and generate all the tables and the graphs that are necessary for your research publication. Thank you very much for this. Thank you very much for watching this particular video. I would like to request you to subscribe to my channel, also like and share my videos. Thank you very much once again. Have a great day ahead.